Yeah, I mean, just so that you could take that data and make better decisions with it.
I think, and again, I might be speaking with not thinking first, but I believe when we talked about it, the motivation was that we first are here to serve Troutdale residents. Despite that there are people coming to visit and they might have an impression on some stuff, we'll take it. We recognize it's outside the area. It might be from a long ways away, it might not be. Again, I'm not saying that gathering information, seeing, that it is, but we're first trying to serve our Troutdale residents. We're asking, how do you feel like you're being served? Where could we help? It's that.
And is on this focus, right? Are we trying to be more attentive to individuals in Troutdale that have had interactions with police, fire, and EMS? Would that be, if I've got Shelby, and Shelby has had fire called to her house, EMS called to her house, and police called to her house, are we gonna give her responsive a different level of attention than Victoria, who has not had any interaction with police, fire, or MRS?
We're not trying to, that's why we're trying to ask these just to be more,
Okay.
how are you feeling about it, so that we just get a general response. At least that's what I thought we were tasked with. The overall, could we find out from more than just a few community members that might be the loudspeakers? Like, let's hear from everybody if we could and get their feedback.
And on that, no matter what, people that don't live here are gonna fill it out, because we've done lots of surveys before, and they do. So at least we'll have some information that they're not here, and.
We didn't plan on giving anything away, so.
And I have this Mary, someone was talking about, Captain Emso was talking about doing I really like your idea about doing a cover letter and introducing ourselves and such. And I don't know, do you guys think we should emphasize, because I think it's important to get this out to let people know that City of Troutdale actually has a public safety committee, or we have lots of other committees. Are you, did you know that? And would you be coming to, or be interested in coming and, voice? Because I think trying to get interaction with our residents is key in all of this too.
Right.
So maybe we could bold those two questions just to make them stand out more. I don't know, something that's just.
Or make them the first couple of questions.
Oh, yeah. That's
Make
good.
it the first couple
Yeah.
questions.
Agreed.
Okay.
That introduces too, yeah.
And I just want to, maybe this out of turn, but I just want to thank our citizen that came, our resident that came in and spoke tonight. I appreciate your, and spread the word that we're looking for people that have concerns to come see us.
Yeah. This is Twyla, just kind of back to Woodrow's point. I know when we're looking at that, the contracts, one of the things that we're looking at is talking and partnering also with Wood Village and kind of that Halsey corridor. So it might be interesting just to zoom, add in the map that we pick, just a little bit more of the Halsey corridor there, so we could see if they have the same concerns of the people that are Troutdale residents, or if they're different concerns by city.
Okay, so according to this map, we're sitting right down here, kind of a little up from the county line. This is Halsey going down.
Yeah, just including a little bit more.
So this
Possibly.
is Edgefield right in here.
Yeah.
And come all the way down. This is 238 coming down, I believe. right there.
Uh-huh.
So going further down into Fairview.
And just seeing if it'd be interesting to see if, like, even if we got a couple responses, and are they kind of the same things we're worried about? Yeah.
Oh, you're talking like making it, another, like F? And adding,
Maybe
no,
not even, but
specific.
just like if people wanted to mark where they lived, you know,
Oh.
like a little dot on it, I'd be like,
Oh,
here.
okay, I see.
Sandy, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, can I go back to this, in a little bit of this, ways that we were thinking about conveying this, or getting the survey out there as possible, get notice things, get it filled out? We were hoping, ideally, that people would fill it out mostly electronically. But we do want there to be paper copies in various ways in areas that we know will not be addressed in some other capacity. So when there was reference to going into businesses, we said, wow, you know, we weren't quite sure how we felt about the QR code, but if there was a QR code that could pop you right to the city's website and took you right into the survey to fill out, we might be able to just pop into some area, you know, like I can think of De Pompeo or maybe Breeder Shop, and we could put something up with QR code. Or we could have some surveys out there, some paper survey copies, if somebody wanted to take the time to fill out a survey there. And then in these shops, maybe they'd be okay with just the spot to drop the survey. I mean, someone could just go in there and be collected that way. But we were thinking first and foremost, if there's a way to get it as a banner and maybe the QR code or just an actual link that comes up in the electronic water bill to anybody who gets their water bill electronically. And maybe it comes with a quick banner like, hey, have you taken the time to fill out the survey? And then it could pop in, it could introduce and, you know, go through. And for those that get paper water bills, that maybe on the outside of the envelope, not on the side that's the addressee's part that would affect the mail, but on the opposite side where you tend to open it, it could be done in some type of star type, you know, something to the effect of talking about, please take the time to fill out the survey, or, you know, whatever, notice the survey. And then inside on the water bill, maybe there can be another flagging on it or an insert that gives either the QR code or both, or like the hot link they can type in, or the city's website or something where they could go in and encourage them to do it. And possibly, if that's too difficult for them because they might be getting paper copies and it's not, that it would say you can request something that then could get sent to them. Because somebody would take the time to call and say, can you please send me a survey? Now, I know it takes some city time, so, I mean, we could have them all tucked in envelopes and you just need like a, you know, some type of address written and then it could go out, but, you know, so we're talking about maybe we can do that. You guys can probably see from that, we think it'd be great if we posted a link in Nextdoor, on Facebook, Troutdale's website, something in the Troutdale Champion, and when we jump down to the senior living communities, things like that, it's probably unlikely that they have electronic access, but they certainly might via their phones or something. But, you know, I wouldn't mind popping in a few of the places and, you know.
I'll go with you.
And even if it's a quick presentation, they could, like I'm thinking in particular, like up there on Cherrywood or Cherry Park.
That is there is only the memory care. The one behind it is no longer, nobody's there.
Closed
Oh,
it?
that's right, they're
They closed it, they're
apartments.
making it apartments.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that.
They closed that, yeah.
Okay, so that's what it was, we had talked about, if we could identify places that had senior living, you know, pop in, come together in your community room, we could talk you through the survey if you want, you know, and then we could just collect it. And it felt like that might be a way to, we talked about going up the hill to the Troutdale Commons, Troutdale Terrace. And that maybe the office manager, I don't know if you had a chance to call them or not.
They never called back and I tried to call again and I've not gotten a response.
So we thought maybe we could bring surveys there, or we could, you know, little cards with the QR code or with just the website and pop it in with a little disclaimer to, since we can't put things in people's mailboxes.
Yeah, and also, isn't it that big of, across from the old Safeway on Cherry Park? Isn't that
Eagle.
apartment complex Troutdale? It's ours too, right?
Yeah, that's Troutdale.
So that, and I'm sorry, I did not check with them, but, I mean, I would be willing to take up notices and, you know,
Are you sure
pop
that's
into some
Troutdale?
bigger apartment
Yeah, it's Troutdale.
complexes.
Yeah, I saw like a little
It is.
do thing.
You know, those
That's
people
why it
aren't
got
gonna get
approved by
water
the planning
bills,
commission.
separate water
it's
bills, so
Troutdale.
they wouldn't have that access.
It was
Yeah,
gonna go to.
all right, so Woodrow,
Lost the taxes.
I mean, I have the deepest voice, so I'll keep saying Woodrow just in case. What I'm thinking about too is there are number of complexes and RV parks where we don't get individual water or electric bills.
Okay, that's perfect.
So this could be an opportunity for us to reach out to, what's another group? Oh yeah, the Citizen Advisory Committee, and see if that we can, you know, see what the kind of solutions they can come up with that. See how we can, you know, get those smart people on that committee engaged. See what we can do. There's some other people I know.
Must be talking to a few of you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, hold it, I'm still on that one. And then the other suggestion too, right, is when we're talking about taking this to Ray, let's draft what your final report could look like, you know? And this seems like a good model, or maybe just start with something like this. Throw in some dummy data. What's it gonna look like, and how can we interpret that? You know what I mean? You hear what I'm saying? Does that make sense? So that we
Not to
can.
me, sorry. I'm tired, it's not.
No
making
worries,
sense.
no worries. So you take a you know, possible responses and show what you're gonna present, you know? Everything's said and done, and everybody gets gold stars and thumbs ups. What's that data gonna look like, right? Is it gonna,
Possible, had people fill some stuff out.
just for fun, right? And then, but, you know, accumulate it and put it in some sort of graphic format that says, okay, so, at the first Friday event, we had 700 responses and, you know, 300 answered the first one with a 200 answered with, you know, what is that data gonna look like? How's it, you know, is it gonna be a graph, is it gonna be a narrative? You know, what does it look like?
I was just gonna say, I think that has a lot to do with whatever program we use for the surveys. I do a lot of surveys. Most of the models actually have an analytics program in there. So like if we did in, I don't know what the city uses, if they use Microsoft or, and we created in forms and do surveys that way, most of them have an analytics. So I think it will depend on what they use, or if they have a
And that's for the electronic ones.
contract they use
But
for
let's,
those.
you know, we're gonna have to take the paper ones,
And put them
right,
in.
and put them in. So let's have an idea of what we want that to look like. So that when we take it to Ray, this is the data we expect to see. It could show that we have, you know, this and that and the other. What's it gonna look like? You're gonna have graphs, you're gonna show just counts.
Well,
What do you want?
I don't know if it's that important of what it's gonna look like. I mean, we can glean the information, right? And we would get it disseminated, however, I don't know.
I think
I'm a
it's,
little confused as
Okay.
to,
He wants a graph.
yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
What's it gonna look like? So your response to one, how satisfied are you with police services in Troutdale? Is this gonna be question one? You're gonna have, you know,
what kind, I
you
gotcha.
know, seven people responded one, 3 people responded two, you know, how many people skipped it? Right, how many left this question blank, right?
But you're,
And then if there is narrative, then you're gonna have another section that's gonna have the narrative pieces in here, right? And if you're collecting this data at a First Friday event, then you're gonna have somebody who's typing this in, right? Who's gonna be doing that, and just as an example, right? So what is the presentation of the data you collected? And again, this is gonna be a check, we're looking for a draft, right? We're gonna just throw something out there and see what it looks like, so that are we collecting the right data? I mean, once you come up with your draft report, right, does this give you enough information to make decisions? That's all we're saying.
It's interesting that you say this, because I looked into, like I said, okay, well, we've got this, let's just set up a little, with a few people that we know, let's just try this out.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's just that it was a lot more work or money involved. I looked at SurveyMonkey, I was looking at free ones, but remember, it costs money if you're gonna get more than 10 so I never did do it, but I wanted to see
Yeah.
a little bit of what, if we filled it out, what kind of things come out the back end. So you're absolutely right, I never did get any further than that.
And maybe that's something we check in with Ray about,
Yeah.
because I know we've gotten electronic surveys from
Yeah,
us
I'm
before.
gonna take this, what we have, and tell them it's preliminary. See what our parameters are on what the tech, I don't remember his name, the tech guy, has time to do and is allowed to do. And I think Ray will approve these questions, they're really good. And then maybe even they could put it into a trifold pamphlet with the logo on top and everything, after we get our final. But I'm gonna get some parameters on which ones of these we can use. And if the QR code and about data, and just see, because it does cost money if we print them out, or if the tech guy has to put it online. Either way, it costs money, so I have to run it by Ray.
Oh, absolutely. I think what we were trying to do is think of the least expensive ways to get people to participate.
Right.
And as much as we think the first Fridays are great, in all my time of living here, only in the last couple of years, except maybe one time before, have I been to First Friday. So and I'm not saying that I'm the typical, I have no idea. I just feel that if our emphasis happens to be that we think that we're gonna gather a lot at First Friday of residents, I think there's a lot of people from outside the area that come to participate in that. And not that their opinions don't matter, but if we really are trying to get to the heart of what the Troutdale resident thinks, it would be better if we could, focus on areas where we could get that information and sort of the cheapest way possible.
And this is Carol, because many people do not come down to First Friday. I used to come down at First Friday because I could park or I could walk. But on cold days, I don't come down here because there's nowhere to park.
Yeah.
And it's a nightmare down here. And so not a lot of Troutdale residents come down here, as wonderful as it is. So I think other ways that we do, and what you listed some of this is free. I mean, Nextdoor is free, Facebook is free. The website's not gonna take somebody just has to put it on the website. That's free.
Once
Really.
the survey is
So,
there
I mean, there's-
electronically, just the link
Yeah.
to get to the survey in these ways is what we're really looking at, so.
But we have to remember to take care of those that don't have access to
Yes,
electronic.
that's
We
correct.
definitely want to get their opinions, they matter.
So all the city offices, you have a stack of them to hand out. And then, I'm talking about First Friday, all the booths. Somebody hitting the booths, those are probably all residents and property owners and business owners.
So do you wanna leave it like that? I'll take this preliminary, and then we'll just tweak, instead of if one or two, we'll just put Y.
That's what I was gonna say, is maybe we just take what the chief is saying right there. for
Yeah,
sure.
and I'll let Ray know what we're talking about changing. And then I'll make an appointment with him and see about money, the big thing, money. And I'm sure, like you said, we're trying to do it the least expensive way. So it's just if he has time for the tech guy to do it, we'll probably be okay.
And as much as I love the eliminating the 1 and 2 and making it be for why anyone would put the rating, in our initial responses, we were worried about if somebody decides this is taking too much time, I'm unwilling to keep, filling it out because they keep asking me why. I think it's fine, why do they think it, they keep asking me why? But it is good if we get that.
We can write
because-
optional.
Well, yeah, just if it's electronic,
Other comment?
make sure it's not
Yeah.
a hard
Comments
stop.
or-
Yeah.
That makes me
If
quit
you wish,
all the time.
comment.
But my suggestion before you take it to Ray is that you go back together as a committee and you fix what we have talked about tonight, and then come back and then talk about taking it to Ray. Taking it to Ray now, it's not in its final,
I wanted to take it to Ray to know exactly what we're allowed to do.
it's our survey.
No, no, no.
Yes, it is.
Wait,
Hold on.
Wait.
Hold on. It is our survey that we have come up with as a committee that we're going to present to Ray.
But Ray might say, we can't do the QR code, or,
That's fine.
It's functional.
yeah, I'm just seeing what Ray's saying, yeah, this is fine, yes, we have the money to do it, or no, we don't.
Or we have to do it all on paper.
Right, but when I present things to other people, you're gonna want it to look, before you take it to Ray, my suggestion is, this is Carol, is that you clean it up because if you present it to Ray right now and Ray goes, no. And then we say, oh, well, we're gonna clean it up a little bit more. There's too many steps. You wanna do it as clean as you can the first time before presenting it to Ray. That's what you do in any business. You're going to wanna present it as clear as you can. And then, fix the stuff and then take it to Ray and say, Ray, this is what we're looking at. And then get Ray's opinion on that. But I would clean it up first.
Do we have any access to a printer right now?
I guess it could be emailed to me and I could go upstairs and print it.
I was just gonna say, I am totally willing to all the changes we talk about right now tonight, I will make the changes, and then I will send it, and I know we can't have a meeting outside a meeting, but I would certainly send it to all you guys, and you say give thumbs up or thumbs down, and if it's a thumbs down, well, then I guess we have to meet next time before we can, but if everyone gave a thumbs up, you could take it from that point to Ray.
Or maybe what we could do is, I'll make a motion that these are the changes we want to make, and then the edits could be made, and we could send it to you to take, because I think the edits shouldn't take more
No.
than like 10 minutes.
Email it to me and then I can take it.
Yeah.
Because I'd really like to take it so we can decide next month.
Yeah.
And then we know everything.
And I agree that like making it look as good as we possibly can, as close to that product would.
So we'll make our changes on it. I don't know if you can get the logo on it, but they can.
So, but then
Put logo here.
you also talked about a cover letter.
Yeah.
So if you're going to do a cover letter that's included in this whole thing, you need to do the cover letter at the same time.
Yeah, you're right, you're right. You
Just
need to do the cover letter.
You need to have your packages complete as you can before you present.
I completely agree.
Which I think, as the working group, you guys could come up with a cover letter and then, I don't know if you can send it to us and get approval on that because it's outside of the committee. I don't think you can.
If we worked on what the cover thing should say as a big group right now, then it would just be the type version saying the motion like on the other part, but that's what we have to do,
Right.
Right. So maybe it could be like in an introduction to the committee and what the role is.
We start with.
The reason we're seeking feedback.
Oh, no, I'm sorry, Sherry did that and I stopped, I was gonna write something, so I'll.
If I could make a suggestion, I think that what goes into that cover letter is important enough to the committee that it should be, everybody should have viewed it before, because that could be the community's sole introduction to this community. So if everybody's not on board or doesn't agree, like, that's gonna be your guys' voice to the community. So, I mean, I know that timeliness is important, but I think, I agree with Twyla that it is good you could get all the stuff on the survey part all nailed down now and make a motion and say, here's the changes, and we all agree, and those could just be done, and nobody has to look at it again because you've all agreed. But I think the language in that cover letter is really important. I think it's worth coming back to the table and looking at what was come up with to make sure that the entire committee, you have buy-in from the entire committee, and somebody doesn't think of something. And I think even to the point of Sherry made a very good point when she talked about the difference between using the word citizen and community member, like things like that, like, you definitely want that, you want to put your best foot forward if this is, you guys don't have a lot of community facing stuff going on, so I think you want to put your best foot forward. So just my respectful recommendation that you guys come up with something and take an opportunity to, as a group, look at it and agree to it.
This is Carol, I agree. I think rushing it to getting it in front of Ray would be a mistake.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. The only thing I worry about is this, as we had it prepped for presentation in March, and here it is June, and then we'll go back and we can get together small groups, that's not a problem. I love burritos. But we can get together and we can come up with something, and then we'll come back here in July, or we won't, depending on, and then there'll be feedback, of which then we have to go back and correct again, and then it will be out one more time. So it keeps on being this out, and especially if everybody's gonna want an opinion, I almost feel like right now, if we could all like get some stuff on paper, or, in this, like, maybe we just call this a small little group, like working group right now, that we're saying some stuff, that we could come up with some verbiage that when we come together, we'd be more likely to give it our stamp of approval in July. Does that seem reasonable, or is everybody saying, "Ooh, it's almost 8 o'clock, it's time to go home"?
It's time to go get burritos.
So,
Mary, also, Twyla brought up another language, what we should probably at least have Spanish and maybe, what other kind of?
I think what the city dictates, whatever the city has available or whatever they do for the citizens that call in and we just follow their policies and procedures for whatever that is. I don't think we need to reinvent the wheel there.
so for next month, we have a cover letter, you'll work on a cover letter, and we'll clean it up, and then we'll all approve it. If it's
Do
ready
you
to
guys
be
not want to
approved.
work, this
And
shall,
then I'll take it to Ray. Sound like, go ahead, Mary.
So should we take a vote on who wants to stay tonight and work on this to get us, or leave and close up shop?
Well, this is
'Cause that's what
Carol,
it feels
if you
like.
look at the survey, if you look at our agenda, this is the only thing really that we're gonna discuss, except for there's an update on next month's agenda, whatever that is. And then the rest of it is to confirm and then to talk. So I would love to be out of here at 8:30, I've been up since 5. So,
Oh, I'm good with being definitely out of here by 8:30. I just thought we could take a little bit of time.
I think that would be important that we do
Well-
that. I think that we can. Especially, this is the only thing left that's on our agenda.
I'm wondering too, because I do better like getting something or like writing it out myself. Are there items that we can bring to Ray that are not this, that will help us move forward?
Well, I was thinking I'll ask him, budget, that's generic, and then which ones of these are feasible? And then at least we know that. And I'll ask him too if, when we get it all finished, if they can make it into a nice trifold or whatever for our paper copy. And I know each committee has a little budget, but it's not a lot, so I'll see. That way, I'm not showing him the not cleaned up version,
Yeah.
but we're getting some idea.
And just from my head, when did The Last Champion come out?
I think it just
Just
came
a
out,
few days ago,
yeah,
because I think it was due on
Maybe I
the
missed that.
30th.
yeah.
Yeah,
Articles
that's
are
why
due on the
last
30th.
month would have been good if we could have get. Yeah.
Oh, wait, it came out? I didn't get it.
It may not have actually been sent out yet, but
It's like
I
gonna
think
come
all
to us.
submissions were required by the 30th of May.
Okay.
Okay, so
I
that
was
one,
gonna say, it's a May-June issue that had come out at sometime in April.
I think it's a June, July, or wait, yeah, May, June issue, because like I said, I had to have my little spiel in there by May 30th, so.
So that will be the July, August
Right,
edition.
right.
So I guess this, Carol, so what is on the agenda for next month? We have to vote for new chair and vice chair.
We have to go over those fire fees. We welcome the new members. We vote for chair and vice chair. We vote for our town center rep, which is Carol right now. And then the fire fees and the law enforcement reports. And then we have our survey. But we've already postponed the fire fees, so
What exactly are we doing with the fire fees? 'Cause I thought it was pretty much.
they want to
unanimous
know
that
our
nobody
opinion
wanted-
of the fees.
Does everybody know what their opinion on the fees are right now?
I don't even know what the fees are.
I don't like people taking money.
Okay. I thought there was a lot of public comment and we all participated and we gave our 2 cents worth of fire fees.
You know, Carol.
No, we
but the
never
item
finished
on
the
that
fire
sheet
fees.
was,
You were online.
We finished the,
You were on the phone at that time. You.
yeah, I'll make sure there's copies in the packet again of the fire fees.
So we can adjust the fire fees?
I think it's a thumbs up
We
or
can
down.
make suggestions,
We can
we're
make
not
a
allowed to
suggestion.
really do it. But we can say,
I'm sorry.
remember we talked about the Christmas tree example? And they don't charge for nonprofit, but it wasn't in writing, remember? So we were talking about things, little tweaks like that we wanted to do. So,
Oh, inspection fees.
So.
do you want, who wants to stay? We have a half an hour and write the cover letter.
Who wants to go get burrito and write the cover letter?
who was late?
The handsome guy over here.
Well, okay, and if you're really not compelled to want to stay very long, at least if you could give your 2 cents, 4 cents, whatever you might be willing to part with, in what you would like to see in the cover letter, that would be great. I mean, I feel like
So let's begin.
Yeah, who's leaving?
Could I ask one thing, so I'm concrete on what I'm changing on the survey, just to make sure? So I have, that we would put the letterhead, that we would, at the top, put Troutdale Public Safety Survey. Decided nothing on the language, we'll let the city deal with it. The third thing is to drop all of the numbers and just change everything that says why. And the fourth thing that I'm not sure for sure which way, which to move questions 5 and 6, which are yes, no, and put them at
15, 16,
15 and 16 and put them at the
top.
at the
That's
top,
first, yeah.
which would we put them before the ratings definitions or after them, just in the question section?
I think they would
Make
place
it
one
the
and
first
two.
and second question.
Yeah, and just move 1 and 2 down, making those 1 and 2.
Yeah, no, but I mean, what do you mean? Okay, so still putting it, let the rating stuff be ahead of it. This is,
Yeah.
okay, and then I'll put those. Okay, and so that's the fourth thing I do, and should I, you guys said something about bolding it or not bolding it? What do you guys-
That was just a suggestion.
Okay.
I don't know what everybody else's opinion is on that.
Okay.
I like bold.
Okay, what does anybody else say? Do we do bold or do we not do bold? I just went.
I feel like bold is screaming at me,
So-
and moving it to 1 and 2,
Would be
I
just
feel
right.
like
Okay,
shows.
and then,
It passes.
then what about the property owner? What were we deciding to do? Business/property owner or resident/property owner or different wording? What was ever decided on that? What do you guys feel is a
We could just do business, resident, property owner.
three categories? Okay, I just want to see everyone's opinion.
Thought it was 2, like we have business, property owner / resident.
That's what I thought.
Okay.
Okay, that's what I wanted to clarify. That's what I wanted to do.
And are we gonna add outside the map where or location or whatever? Specify that more or
Oh,
not?
at the bottom, outside the map,
Yeah.
and you could say, they could circle it, because that's the idea, that they're circling or marking. And then,
Yeah,
Again,
they should circle
there's
outside.
just this fine line between the where and the, at some point, do you feel like that's trying to pry too much into your, like the where being,
The rest of the people get a circle and area.
I kind of want to know if somebody's from Idaho and they're filling out the form. I want to know that, because then it's like, okay, you don't
You go
live
into a
here.
different
What did you say about crime in Troutdale when you told us you're from Idaho? That's what I want to know.
okay,
Anybody else
and
have
I'm not, I don't discount what you're saying there. What I'm saying is, if we write where and we leave it blank, is that somebody gonna be, we can just not put where and just move on from it, because we're not holding it as, right, a hostage, or you can't get out through your survey?
Yeah, as long
So
as it's not
somebody
like a
doesn't have
hard
to.
stop.
So the where is more of a software, they can decide to give it or not. Because if I was a resident, I wouldn't want somebody to think where, and I have to put my actual address if I'm just filling out a survey. It's trying to be,
In my opinion, you guys have met what you need to do with this map and these, because honestly, if they don't circle anything, then assume they're not from here. And we don't really care if they're from Idaho or Washington, if they're not willing to put that they're even from this area,
Yep.
anyone, because you guys have kept this general enough that it's not invasive. And so I think it's gonna lend people to go, oh, I'm willing to put this area.
yeah,
You know, so I think you can assume that most people would probably put the area, just because it's so general. And if people aren't from here, they're not gonna circle anything, so just assume they're not from within the city if you.
Bingo.
okay.
So
that's good.
drop outside the map? Or is that what you guys are
No,
saying?
you're still saying they could circle outside the map, right?
Yeah, they could circle outside.
Okay, so leave
And
it.
then,
Yeah,
like,
but you don't have to get to specific as where, cause number one, like, I sometimes I look at these as if I were filling this out, I would never answer that. So,
So
no,
maybe
you know.
we should add circle 1. A, B, C, D, or outside.
We just circle
And we just-
outside.
And then
Use the map
forget the
to-
where.
And I can just hear Woodrow now saying,
I just leave it as is. I think it's well written. I think it's
They click
very
on an A through E or they
easy to
don't.
use, it's well written. And then, you know, some people may have a business and a residence here, so they may circle more than one. So,
They could fill out 2 surveys, from the
Yeah.
business hat and from the resident hat.
Oh, no, let's
you'll be
not talk
lucky to
about
get them to
that.
fill out
Let's not
one
talk about
survey, so. But I think, I don't know, I just think this is, really looks nice the way it is.
thank you.
Okay, and so, and then the only other thing I wrote down here is that we want to, well, 2 other things, improve the map, as far as, and that might be literally, I'll probably just be giving that to you, see if the city can, has a better, it was just general, we tried to make sure it had the major roads in, that are busy to separate the areas. So, and then it was brought up to add some more of the Halsey corridor to this map to make another area, I guess. So what is that, where we stand on that, anybody?
I don't remember that.
Okay,
Yeah,
Tyler
somebody
mentioned it.
said-
Oh, I apologize. I still don't remember that.
That's fine. I
I wrote it
am cool
down.
with letting it go.
Is
I'm
it
full
like
of
an economic
ideas, not all
development
great
zone,
ones.
or is
okay,
it?
so I have 5 things, I got that, the letterhead, the Troutdale at the top, the Ys, the questions 15 and 16 moved to the top, and the 5th thing, property owner / resident. So that's all things I will change.
Sound
I will
good?
send that on, okay, and then our list of things, ideas for notifying residents about the survey, that is what you were talking about, Victoria, that you are going to talk to Ray right now, without the survey, but just these things that, ways we think we could reach our community and what our limitations are, is that correct?
Yeah, budget-wise,
Can
yeah.
I be super nitpicky for a second?
Sure.
Property owner / resident, that indicates that you're both. So I would put property owner or resident.
Okay,
So just not a slash.
Yeah, because the
So
slash
one
would,
group.
people would go, oh, well, I have to be a property owner and a resident.
okay, right,
That, you know, that
You're
may
right.
get rid of all your renters, the people who are renters.
Yeah, no, that's good.
You're
Good,
good,
good.
good point, good point. Okay, thank you, I got that clarified, so what I'm gonna do.
On our letterhead, it'd probably be good to just say, this survey is being presented by PSEAC, but put it out. And we could state what we do, and use the city's example.
Yeah, I use that little description they have for the committee.
It's on the, I don't have it in front, I didn't bring my phone. It's on the web of what our committee does.
Are we talking about the introduction letter now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Isn't that lengthy?
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna pull.
Isn't that a lengthy,
I think there's a shortened version.
okay.
And I think there's 2 ways to accomplish this cover letter. And I think it's gonna be dependent on, as mentioned before, cost and how much room you have. Because I think what you could also do, you have this kind of nice, like few sentence summary up here. You could rewrite, excuse me, rewrite that summary. To get what you want.
Include the cover letter type, or, so it still remains 2 pages. Okay.
Oh, right on here. Okay, then we don't have to put the city thing on. Just, we can just do a general statement.
Well,
Here's what it says at the list.
It does have some good language.
Yeah, we can put that's presented by us, and then what you wrote.
That could be beneficial for the paper copy, so we wouldn't have to hand, if we're, sitting somewhere in public, we wouldn't have to give them the cover letter and the survey, right?
That's just like,
They'd all be one
Yeah.
packet.
It'll all be put into one, a separate thing, it'd be on top there. But then
Well, I'd want those two to match. I'd want whenever we give out paper-wise to match.
electronic, okay,
Yeah.
makes sense.
You got, I was gonna say Carol should read what it says on the website that our committee does. I know
Yeah,
that's-
I think we should take it from there. It says, the Public Safety and Equity Advisory Committee is charged with evaluating and making recommendations to the city's elected and appointed officials on matters relating to public safety, including law enforcement, fire, and medical services. Included in this charge is that the committee make recommendations that may be necessary to ensure that all of these public services are provided in a fashion that ensures equity regardless of a person's race, color, religion, sex, sexual orientation, national origin, marital status, age, disability, and other classes protected under Oregon statutes. The PSEAC is not charged with reviewing use of force complaints or citizen complaints against public safety personnel.
I don't know if we need the second paragraph, do we?
Because we're now it was decided we're just gonna try and have a little cover letter on the,
I think the first
Same
paragraph is
page.
enough, don't you?
The first paragraph's enough, I'm just reading what the website says.
I thought that-
Well, if you guys do a full cover letter, like, you started out.
if we
talking
do a
about
full
that,
one, then
you could
yeah.
have all that.
That's what I was
If you
saying,
want
but
to-
if we're gonna just put it on here,
But that increases cost, right? Because now if you
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
paper, you have a whole nother piece of paper, a whole nother trifold, all that kind of stuff. So I was talking about like, you could take something like, you know, hey, public safety and feedback matter, police and fire contracts are being considered. The Public Safety and Equity Advisory Committee would like to hear from you. And then maybe even put like a web link to, you could say, to learn more about the Public Safety and Equity Advisory
Oh.
Committee.
Put it there,
And
yeah.
put the link on there so they can go to there and see it. And I mean, it could even be, I'm just spitballing, it could be longer than that, but I'm just thinking something that you minimize the cost by not including
yeah,
another full.
because I think cost is gonna be,
And you make it
an
where you
item.
hand out one sheet to people who are
Yeah.
getting it in paper instead of like a pamphlet.
I like
Our
that
original
idea.
idea, one page.
Exactly.
One piece of
And
paper.
it's easier too.
And maybe we take some of the other great ideas and down the road, we can create talking points for when we do go door to door. So we have a consistent, or, you know, at events have a consistent message. I think the other thing that's not on here that I think is huge to the community is they have a forum to come and talk to the chief and have things heard. And so that's a big deal. So hopefully in the talking points, we can mention that also so that people know who's
We want
here.
your opinion, come
Yeah.
talk to the chief.
Oh, boy, it's really.
We'll get you a booth set up.
Yeah.
So do we want to word this tonight? Then we're pretty much done, except Shelby has to fix it all.
Well, I can fix it, I'll go home and fix it tonight.
I think what he said, I mean, if we can, when we listen
I
back,
know, I
it was
liked what he
perfect.
said.
Hopefully the recording caught it all.
No, it was mostly just a little addition to what you guys already had. So public safety and your feedback matter. Police and fire contracts are being considered for renewal next year. The Public Safety and Equity Advisory Committee would like to hear from you.
Yeah.
To learn more about the Public Safety and Equity and Advisory Committee, and then link.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Okay?
Do we have a second? All
We
in
not
favor?
need to.
He wants burritos back.
I like it.
And when I go to Ray,
Who doesn't want?
I'm gonna ask him what you brought up about, the other survey. And just make sure we're kosher.
I already had dinner, I'm not going to the burrito shop tonight.
So
When
do we
met,
have
it's been
everything for
4:30,
this
we've met.
until next month?
Get our burrito and then we-
I believe so.
Shelby, do you have it?
Oh, yeah, I was just gonna say, I said, public safety, public safety and your feedback matter. Police and fire contracts are being considered for renewal next year. The Public Safety Equity Advisory Committee would like to hear from you to learn more. And I guess we put the link.
Okay,
And
and
then, but
I'm just
obviously on a
gonna
piece of paper, I guess I just am putting the website
I'm
out.
gonna say this from the standpoint of, dealing with, students that intellectually are not always able to comprehend at a level. I realize we're not dealing with students, but I say this because even our legislature is charged with not writing anything beyond an 8th grade level. And so to a little bit of the PSAC's statement there, I would just be a bit cautious on thinking that anybody and everybody would read that with such ease.
I think we can run it through the, in Word, if you have Word, you can do a grade level check on it.
Okay, and it has to be 8th grade level, right?
Well, that's what the legislature is charged with, nothing higher than 8th grade level, and I just feel like sometimes all the additional prepositional phrases, when it probably could have been cliff noted practically, or, put down and just parceled into something that's just a little bit simpler.
Are you
Yes.
talking about what that she just said, or what the actual
Well, the
website said?
actual thing
Yeah.
as says, it's just,
Oh, on the
I mean, it's not like
website.
we can't understand it, but I feel like one who might be a English language learner, or one that might not possess English as their first language, might be challenged with the full understanding of what PSAC is about.
So are you asking I'll check this document, or were you talking about what is posted on the website for our charter?
Post on the website. I thought
Okay.
we wrote in fairly simplistic
I
terminology,
thought
but
we did, I thought, wow. I guess
It
we'll
might be
check
interesting though, just to
Yeah,
do that,
I'll
because
try
you
to
could
check
check
it.
the whole
Okay, I'll try to
document.
check it.
Woodrow, maybe one of the things we want to ask Ray is the process. Does legal need to review everything?
I doubt that,
All right, just checking.
but he'll
It
tell
might be
me.
a good question.
Ray will tell me,
Ray,
believe
do we
me.
have any- is there a city policy we need to follow?
Ray tells me anything I need to know.
I think this still has to go before city council to get approved. to be-
Yes, I believe it does.
Okay, so I was just gonna say, if we could know the process, or we're really close to finalizing the survey here, so what's the process?
Yeah,
Because what are you guys are saying?
I already
is-
got all my questions. I got it ready to go.
Are we saying that we are approving with the changes already tonight? I love it if we are. Or are we meeting next month to, once I've made these changes, which I've agreed to, we sign off on it?
We're meeting next month, right?
Or are we signing off tonight?
You want to approve it tonight?
Well, I think no matter what, we still have to make a plan to bring it in front of council for their approval to move forward, correct?
That's correct. Because Ray doesn't make the decision of a yes or no. It has to be presented to the council, and the council can say yes or no.
So maybe we could get it all together, the package, finalize it, and then make our plan for how we want to get in front of the council and who will do that and what the presentation will
Ray
look
will-
like.
Yeah, and Ray will let me know. Sometimes you can do a survey and you don't have to take it in front of the council. It's just a survey.
So what does it look
Unless it
like?
goes into more money. But
No,
we'll
but I-
see what Ray says.
But I thought that if you're going to do, I mean, I might be wrong, but I thought if you were gonna do something, you had to present it to council, so council's aware.
I think we did the park survey and we never got it. We just didn't.
City council knew about it though.
They knew about it, but they didn't have to approve it.
I'm not saying whether they or not they have to approve it, I'm just saying that they need to know
Yeah,
what's going
well,
on.
Ray will let me know what they need to know.
I think for me, I would like all the most amount of people backing it as possible.
Yes.
So it is the most supported by all in.
We don't even know if we have to go to city council yet, so.
But I mean, like, I feel like it's sort of rogue, like if I went off as an employee and did whatever I wanted to, now I decided I'd survey my neighborhood. Well, okay, maybe I could just do that randomly, but I think that I would like to have all the backing because they could, in their own forums, say, you know, looking forward to getting, you know, resident, you know, owners, people giving their feedback.
Or they could also tell us to go to another committee and get their feedback and take more and more time off the.
Well, but you also don't want the council to get 100 calls saying, we're getting the survey, and the counselor's going, well,
Well,
let me
that's
look
what I'm
into it.
saying. Ray's gonna let me know, and he'll let the council know if they need to know. Cause he's an
But what
interim,
we're
so.
saying is we want to present it to the council. That's what your members are saying, is they want to present it to council.
Not Ray, do we want to, for our passion to show.
But
in
what
we're
I'm
bringing
saying is
forward.
you might not even have to take it to city council.
I think what we're saying is, I don't
And
feel
then
like
you
it's
have
a
to get it
burden.
on, you're talking a few months down the road again. Because then it has to get on the agenda. They are off all of 2 sessions in the summer. You're looking at probably October.
Well,
I'm against doing it in October.
Let me check with Ray, see what Ray says. If we need to take it to city council, I think you're right, all of us should be there. But,
I'm not, this is not me trying to argue at all with you, I want you to appreciate that part. What I'm just trying to say is, I would love to have city council saying yes to it. Like, they look at it and actually say, I think this is good.
Well-
As opposed to, like, I don't have to go before them for that, I almost wanna have their.
well, let me see
Go for
what,
it.
like I said, let me see what Ray says.
Okay.
And,
Can I, that is Shelby. I think it's great if we can just know the process.
right,
So and I'm hopeful that if we need to go before city council, that we already start the process to get in line right now. And even if we don't have to, if we could get on their agenda,
Yes.
even if we're not required to, the fact that we could get on their agenda, we want to get on their agenda, just for our presentation
Our
of it.
validation.
So then maybe you can ask Ray.
To put us on the agenda?
I would like to be on the agenda to present what we're doing.
Yeah.
Back to this cover letter and all that, just to keep us on the pushing it forward faster. What we've discussed, what we said, what that part says, and then, and again, it might be listed all out, but I'm just gonna say PSAC for now, it might be listed out. Would like to hear from you. To learn more, please click on this link or whatever Chief said. And then, you know, that's what's getting included on this part of the survey. Is this what we're saying we are approving, or can this get sent for the thumbs up just in to everybody? And then we move forward with it? I think I'm still not sure exactly what we're doing.
I don't think we can send out and vote as a group outside of here.
No, I meant we would
Oh.
say, we are approving it with this changes, and provided Shelby's typed it in that way, then it's still on a go, that it's all okay. If somebody said, no, you got it wrong, Shelby, then we're back to next month and chit chat about it. Is that how it works? I mean, I'm asking, I don't know.
okay.
I think we're back to.
I'm
next
gonna
month.
get the process. And next month, we're gonna have all the revised copy. And then I'll take that to Ray right away after the meeting. And he'll sort of know what's going on, and we'll sort of know. And then I'll ask him to put us on the agenda so we can present it to city council if you want.
Question. If, when you talk to Ray, Ray tells you something it needs to be pink and yellow polka dots, whatever, he gives you direction that's different from what we've spoken with. Will we get an email? And is that, I mean, will we get that right away so that we could ponder and contemplate?
We can't have a meeting outside.
Understood, but your notes of that meeting with Ray,
Could go out.
would we get that to read?
Well, I probably have to present it at the next meeting. Because we
Add
can't,
that to a question for Ray.
I'll ask
Okay,
him, but,
Ray, can I document our meeting, or maybe an email conversation?
but you're
And
not
can
allowed
I
to
share-
have a email meeting.
Understood, but is it just a
One way.
memorialization of your conversation? And can you share that with the committee, is the question, that's the question.
This shall be, I think that you can, it's just like, if somebody submits public comment, whatever, I don't know why you couldn't, we can't respond back to you, but you could certainly tell us what could happen, I think. Just tell us what happened, and then we all go, oh, we're gonna have to be prepared at the next meeting, that didn't go well, have to come up with some thoughts about
Or,
this.
Ray said, we need to do step A, B, C, and D.
Yeah.
That's all you put in the email and send it to
Right.
us.
And we don't
Okay, you
respond,
guys have to promise though,
not to respond,
That-
we'll respond.
you're not gonna, oh, did you see her email? Oh, I'm so mad. I mean, you can't talk to each other about it at all.
Are you serious? We can't do that?
I'm very serious,
So,
yeah.
this is Mary.
I've been
So
on committees a long
can it go
time
out to
and
just Sherry
you're not allowed to do
and
that.
I and Shelby, since we're on the little working committee for
You
it?
guys can talk about changing,
So
yeah.
could you send that information to us from Ray? Because we're on, and then we
I-
could fix it and work
I
on
will
it
check
or
and
something,
make
at
sure,
least.
Because it's not a quorum.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but you can't
because it could,
talk about something, I mean, you can do all your committee stuff, but you can't talk about something
Yeah,
new.
and plus, you're not gonna discuss with Ray about the content of the survey, it's a process, right? You're gonna talk about the
Yeah.
process.
And
So it's
then
kinda
after
different.
we get it tweaked next month, I'll take that to him right away. I'll actually make the appointment for after our next meeting.
If I could just say, if you talk to Ray and he goes, absolutely, you are not gonna be able to do anything with the water bills, it's good for us to know. We'll probably then, if we all know, we'll go, oh, well, what else can we do? But we already know we could do Facebook and we could do Nextdoor. I mean, that's just.
I know, and I'm
If he
just
gives us the
seeing
resources.
budget-wise.
Well,
I can post.
the city already has a Facebook page. Somebody,
But I,
no,
I
what
know, we have a technician. He has certain things assigned to him. So I just need to make sure that he'll have time to do this.
And
He
priority.
probably will. I really don't have any doubts that he will, but everything has to be approved because it's costing money.
I appreciate that. What I'm saying in the part that, for us to be thinking about is, you're meeting with Ray, rather than you sharing that information with us at the next meeting, and then we all go, oh, we could have been thinking about that. You could share it with us as soon as you know, and we could be thinking about it.
Okay,
And
it's a very, very tricky area.
could you share it with the small?
I know, but
Could you share it with the
I
small?
guarantee you, I've been on enough committees, something gets shared, then I email you, you email me, and then it's not a forum.
I promise, I'm not gonna be
Yeah.
emailing anybody.
But,
I think, how about, maybe we approach it this way, is that I think, are we missing anybody? We're all here.
Yeah, we're on here.
And we're all not going to talk to each other. You guys have a planned meeting for
and you
your
can't
committee.
talk about it then either.
And we're not talking if we get a correspondence from you after that, hopefully we will, that will trigger us, and then we'll have richer conversation. So it
Right.
will not be a quorum, because the only meeting
So,
that's gonna take
yeah,
place is.
that's the plan.
three
I will
after.
ask Ray if I can share, but I need everybody's assurance that they're not going, and
Here's the-
at your
here's the,
subcommittee meeting, you
official
can't
word.
talk about it either.
Okay.
She's got the official.
Public Meetings Law, Oregon Public Meetings Law, prohibits a quorum of a governing body from discussing decisions via email, including committees, subcommittees, and advisory groups. This includes a series of private communications, such as emails, that could violate the PML, or Public Meeting Law. Some say that most types of communication between members can be conducted via email if a secure email platform is used. Others recommend using caution when exchanging emails, such as blind copy functions, etc. So in other words, it basically says that that you shouldn't be exchanging emails about decisions if there's a quorum.
There you go.
But we're not getting,
There's no decisions,
There's
right?
decisions, it's
What
just
if it's,
Just
we're
a
not a
one-
quorum, so if you just send it to the little,
the work group.
You're not allowed to talk about it unless we're all together, because you're a subcommittee assigned a certain task.
you just said though.
But
you
we're
can't-
working on the same thing. We've been working on the survey. It's still related to the
I know.
survey. Okay, well, it just slows us down. It just,
Okay.
the chances of us getting.
I will ask Sarah and I will ask Ray,
Yeah, Sarah's definitely the. she
Sarah's
will
very
have the
good.
Answers. So.
Okay, so.
and I will ask her exactly what I can do. But I know you guys can't talk about it.
The
I'm
other
positive
thing
of that.
is, the other committee, Ray does send out, like, we'll talk about
Yes,
things.
he does.
And he sends us out information that is follow-up to what happened. And there's not a discussion around that, but we concretely get information.
And I get it from Parks. I get things from Jonah all the time that says this is what we're gonna be talking about. Nobody emails.
So.
So, I mean, that would be good to get a
Oh, that's
clarification on
agenda,
that.
that's not a discussion of,
Yeah, I think the key issue would be if something was sent out where a decision was made based on that information, like as an example, oh, we can't use the water bill. Well, then people are starting to make decisions about what other steps, you're making decisions. And so nothing can be sent out where there would be decisions or decisions related to that, to a quorum, because then you're making decisions with a voting quorum outside of the public.
So you can't make.
We're
But I
just
didn't think we were a quorum.
you're not
You
even
know,
allowed to discuss
Yeah,
things.
less than three is not, or less than a quorum is
Unless you,
different than sending it out to the group as a whole. But like, like Victoria said, Sarah is probably the expert opinion on,
I'm gonna be optimistic. And Ray's gonna say, everything's fine, okay? And then I'll say, can I let the committee know that? And he's gonna say yes. But if you don't hear from me, I was told, don't. Okay, and I will check with both Sarah and Ray.
I feel like it's a waste of this committee's time and the small committee's time if it takes us so much in between each time when we meet. And it's like, I'm going into that meeting with both arms tied behind my back, but I'm gonna give it my best shot. And then we show up, no, I'm perceiving it as I need to know what my limitations are so I can bring the best
I understand that, but I
product
can't
forward
help
each
the
time.
rules.
Yeah, well, no, so when I believe like in the standpoint of, if the technician, if there's no time being allowed for the technician to be able to work on it, that would be something that we might say, oh, is it something we could do? It's all typed out and presented, so it just gets a quick click up into the web page or up into the whatever. So is that the possibility? So it's almost like I can start problem solving ahead of time so that it's not always this this process that just keeps getting dragged out further.
Welcome to government.
Well, I know, but if the people really are the government, the people should demand something better than something that
Well,
takes so long.
A forum's a forum, I can't do anything about that, so, anyway,
Question, Woodrow, are you gonna be meeting physically with Ray, or are you gonna be emailing back and forth?
no, I'm gonna meet physically with him.
Do you want me to be there with you?
I'm okay.
Can I, Shelby, one more question, though. Can you also, when you meet with him, already request that we get on the agenda for city council?
I already have it down.
Okay, already, don't even wait till we get the final
No,
approval. You
because
wanna
we will be into October if I wait.
Yeah, okay. Okay,
Yeah, we can do it as a presentation.
okay.
So, you're gonna bring back the corrected form. And we'll
knows if we-
hopefully approve it next month. And if I'm allowed to email you, I will email you. So, number 8, next month's agenda, which I went over. Welcome new members. Vote for chair and vice chair, town center rep.
Who's our new members?
No, I can't remember. We have one, I think. Oh, I know why I don't remember, because they were gonna ask them.
Oh, that's right. So they're gonna get back to Sarah?
Yeah,
All right,
so
let's
Sarah
add that to
will
the list
know.
to find out who we got.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
And
right,
then-
that's me.
We'll go over the law enforcement reports, the survey, and fire fees. Sound good?
And the discussion
Okay.
on the fire fees is just between us, not more people presenting?
Hmm?
The discussion on the fire fees is just between us, not more people coming and presenting?
Some public comment can,
Okay, public comment can, but we don't have like speakers that are coming for any,
Ray had somebody that could come in if you want him to.
no,
No.
I don't
No?
want to.
No?
No.
Nobody wants that? Okay. Then we'll just discuss, and maybe tweaking that to say, like, the Boy Scouts don't have to pay, the fee, which they say they do anyway, and I believe them, but some people were upset and wanted it in writing last time. Okay, committee member comments.
Thank you for everybody that was willing to stay late. Yeah, I'm not sure I have anything else except school's almost out.
No comment, good meeting.
Yeah, good meeting and thanks, everybody.
Sorry I was late. I smelled like a horse and had to freshen up.
Okay, well, thanks, everybody, for a good meeting. I'm glad you liked our hard work on the survey, so thank you. Thank you, Chief, for being here. Thank you, Sandy, for being here.
Oh, good meeting, nothing else.
Yeah, it was a good meeting, and thank you all for being here, and thank you to our subcommittee. I really liked your questions, really great. And I skipped number 9. Okay, when I was doing the agenda, I saw the next meeting was for the 4th of July. So I called Sarah, and I emailed Sarah, and Sarah got us the room for the 11th. Is that a good day for everybody?
Yep.
That's good.
Okay, then, need a motion to adjourn?
This is Carol, I make a motion to adjourn.
This is Twyla, I second.
Thank you, Sandy.
And everyone said?
Bye.
Hi.
Thanks, Sandy, for being here. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Andy.
Good night.
Bye.
What happened to the sound, just in case that happens again?
The computer just kind of glitched.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I
Yeah.
had to hit the sound again
Oh,
and it popped back on. So,
oh, I'm so glad you figured it out.
I mean, well, I'm sure part of it is my lag.
These
I feel like I had a bullet
technologies.
chain on me.
Runs to a meeting, oh my God.